processing plant has been up and running for over 8 months. It contains both industrial and clinical operations on a site the size of 4 football pitches. Hey, you Mick?
I certainly am pleased to meet you, Greg.
Very good to meet you. I'm here to learn.
Right, come this way and I'll show you how it all works.
I want to see everything.
Oh, you will.
Mick Ross oversees the production line and is in charge of over 60 full-time staff who engineer roughly 50,000 steaks every day. So come on then, Mick. How on earth do you grow human meat?
I want to introduce you to our nutrient vat.
Hello, Nutrient Vat, Greg Wise, telepresenter, and your job is?
Well, what its job is, it processes thin slices of tissue in a nutrient-rich mix, which you see here, and then cells start to grow. So over a 24-hour period, these will slowly fuse together into one great big, what we call a cake.
So you're telling me that is human flesh?
Exactly.
But why human meat? Why not animal meat?
That's a very good question. We've got centuries of knowledge of human medicine at our side. We know more about humans than we do about animals. So we've mastered engineering human cells to make these structured flavours and sinews that we expect from the flavours and steaks we eat.
Good Harvest encourages people who need the income to sign up, select their own extraction site, and get paid within the week. You expect to be feeding the nation with this. You're going to need a lot of donors.
Well, it's well in demand, and we've got a lot of people coming forwards, because the other great thing about it, it's an opportunity to be paid.
Would you ever consider donating yourself?
Yeah, maybe I would. I mean, I may have to. My bills are as high as anybody else's. You know, I've got a young family, I've got a daughter to feed, so...
And would you feed your family human steaks?
Oh, yes, most definitely. Already have.
After the donor's tissue samples are placed in the nutrient vat, they're stimulated with electrodes and left to grow at 40 degrees centigrade at the proving bay.
So, Greg, after a few hours, this is what we're left with.
Whoa! No way! Mate, that's the biggest chunk of meat I've ever seen. I mean, scientifically, that's amazing. But in terms of food, that is stunning.
It is incredible, isn't it?
That is stunning. Look at it. This 30-kilogram protein cake will be cut into nearly 100 steaks, and it's all been grown from the cells of just one person.
And if you'll give me a hand to lift it out. There we go. 1, 2, 3, that's it.
Whoa! Crying out loud.
We're going to take it over onto the resting board. There we go.
Wow. This must be a relatively new process.
It is. I mean, under EU law, we couldn't possibly operate machines like this due to legislation, but thankfully now we're out. We can harvest people and we can pay them for their flesh.
So what happens to this now?
Right, well, this will either be cut into steaks or it'll go off and be processed for sausages, burgers, you name it. You can do anything with it.
Proper space age, isn't it? This
It is.
meets me up, Scotty. I've got to grips with the guts of human meat production, but I wanted to know, how does this new protein compare to a real steak? It was time for that all-important taste test. I knew just the chef for the job. I'm off to Le Gavroche, a 2 Michelin star restaurant in the exclusive London borough of Mayfair, to see top chef Michel Roux Jr. Chef, look at this. Look, I am